So hello and welcome back to the Time to Calibrate podcast. This is episode 18. I am Brent Robillard, and joining me today are my co-host Mark Levesque and a very jet-lagged Bob Allaby, who just returned from British Watchmakers. While I'm sure we'll get the lowdown on Bob's adventures real soon, I believe that he encountered a fan of the podcast over there. Bob, did you want the microphone for a second?
Yes. First of all, very jet-lagged. Just got in late last night, but like Brent mentioned, I'm fresh back from British Watchmakers Day, which was amazing. And I'm sure we'll chat more about that in another episode. I met a few listeners to the podcast there, but Carl from Liverpool was especially enthusiastic about the podcast and was just a great guy. I met up a couple of times over the weekend and just wanted to give a special shout out to Carl. Thanks for all the fun chats and thanks for your support. Hopefully see you again next year.
That's fantastic. At least we have one listener. This is great news. So I can't wait, obviously, to hear more about your adventures, Bob. But we may have to actually make a special plan for that because today we have a guest with us in Alexandre Voirin. Welcome, Alexandre.
No problem.
With a storied career in watches, including a decade at Longines, Alexandre has played a pivotal role in shaping some of the brand's most beloved collections. His design contributions can be seen across a diverse range of Longines timepieces, from the elegant Dolce Vita, the Symphonette, and the Mini, to the technical prowess of the Conquest VHP and the Longines Spirit 2020. His deep appreciation for horological heritage is evident in his work on some of Longines' most notable historical reissues as well, including the Heritage Diver, the Heritage Militaire Marine Nationale, the Railroad, the Heritage 1945, and the Skin Diver watch, which happens to be a favorite of mine, as well as the Heritage Sector Dial and even the new Ultrachron. In fact, one of his most celebrated achievements came in 2017 with the GPHG for his work on the Longines Avigation BigEye. Now, with the launch of his own brand, Carlingue, Alexandre Voirin embarks upon a new chapter. So, welcome, Alexandre. And we'd like to start our podcast with a wrist check. So, why don't you share with the audience what you're wearing on your wrist today?
Today I'm wearing a Carlingue military one, the green model, as you can see, 26 millimeter and the strap, canvas strap, sorry.
Very nice.
Looks very good.
Looks fantastic. I was just looking at that on the website today, actually. So, Mark, what have you got on your wrist?
I just took it off my wrist just to show you guys. It's the Hamden Burnham. It is a special watch made by a company associated with Marathon Watch, as the families are related. The owner of Marathon and the owner of Hamden are brothers. It came down through the family. They've owned multiple different companies over the years. And Hamden does this something special where they engrave their case backs with a removable plate, basically a medallion. So you can see there, our audience can't see it, but our guest and our co-host can see it. It is engraved with our podcast logo. And you can just take off the medallion, and then you've got the case back with a display of the movement with a sapphire glass. So you can engrave these and have it, your wedding anniversary, your kids' birthdays, if you graduation, congratulations, whatever. And you can have multiple of them and just swap them out anytime you want, which is really neat. So that's what I've got on my wrist.
Nice. For me, I am wearing, and I have just a short little story from the show about, since we're speaking with a watch designer, that is appropriate, I think, but I'm wearing the Fior 555 GMT from Nomadic Watches. And while I was standing in line to get into the show, there must have been at least 250, 300 people in line. And I saw a person coming towards me from quite a ways away. And I wasn't sure, I didn't recognize him at all, but he kept coming and he comes up to me and he compliments me on the watch, said, very nice. And he said, I guess I should like it. I'm the one that designed it. So he's one of the watch designers from Nomadic Watches. Had a nice little conversation with him, but I thought that was kind of cool. And I really enjoyed the watch so far since I've had it, but yeah.
Well, I wish that I could say that on my wrist I was actually wearing the Skin Diver watch in honor of Alexandre, but I do have a Longines on this morning. It's the It's
Diver.
the Legend
Okay.
Diver 39, actually.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Which is one of the favorites in my collection, actually. Big fan of Longines and have been for a long time. And you're probably the reason, even though I didn't know it at the time. So that's fantastic. So we're going to kick it over to Mark here, and he's gonna start with some questions today.
Sure. So unlike many of our guests, Alexandre and I don't have a history together. In fact, we're very recent acquaintances. As some listeners may know, I host a daily comparison game on Instagram where I put two watches against each other. Either they resemble each other or have similar qualities. And I invite the readers to judge who did it better. And it's just a fun thing I've been doing for a little while now. It's caught on. And the very first one, I had pinned the Longines Spirit Zulu versus the Tagura Tevya GMT. And that posts, I mean, after a day, you've got a bunch of votes and so forth, but people keep on voting on these things. And so far now, it has had over 11,000 views and nearly 80% were non-followers. And over that time, 500 people just about voted, and the Longines won by a wide margin by 85%. However, that's not the coolest thing about that one post. Maybe a day or so after I posted it, or maybe the same day, I got a message from Alexandre answering my question, and I quote, "The Longines one, definitely, because I designed the Spirit collection," with a little winky face. Now, of course, this is the internet, it's Instagram, and my first reaction was, yeah, right, and I designed the Rolex Daytona. But before I let my inner smartass out, I searched Alexandre's name on LinkedIn, and to my astonishment, he was telling the truth. And according to his profile, he was the graphic and product designer for Montre Alain Silberstein in 2008 and other graphic design positions outside of watches until he landed at Longines, where he spent the better part of a decade. Alexandre, can you tell us how you started in graphic design, and was Alain Silberstein position your first job out of school?
I worked with Alain Silberstein 1 year. I work on especially on two models, the I Chrono and a model with, in collaboration with Maximilian Besser, NBF, and HM 2.2. And especially on graphic design as cards and anything like this for the brand.
Wow! And how was working with Alain Silberstein? I understand he's quite the eccentric character.
It's a special character, but it's quite it's a great person. It's a great person. Yeah.
I remember seeing his watches back in the 90s when I started collecting, in one of the magazines that books, annual book, there was an Alain Silberstein section, and his watches stand out compared to all the others because of the colors and the shapes. And back then, this was very wild, and it's so nice to see that he's still doing a lot of his work. And it was great to see that you work with him. I noticed that you originally from France, and your career started there, but then you moved to Switzerland. Was that for the job for Longines specifically?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I moved for Longines. I wanted to go to Switzerland since many years, and especially in Longines because I'm fan of the brand, of the iconic models. And when I went to Switzerland and began to work with the Longines team, it was very enthusiastic for me, and I began to work for in the marketing department as a graphic designer and also the decoration. So I went to several places in the world, especially in Europe, to do the decoration on the boutique. And after the leaving of the main designer of the brand, I go to the products and AMT departments to begin the adventure. Begin the adventure with several collections for the first year. It was very, very difficult for the first year, because there are so many things to do. I draw the Dolce Vita, the new Dolce Vita, the relief of the collection, also the Symphonette. You know the Symphonette? It's the baignoire
Yeah, the big one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And all the models for the equestrian segment. And many animation on the other collection, Master and on the others. And day after day, I have to work with in the different collection, but many collections and also heritage models. And I really appreciated to work on those models because you have a piece of history in your hands. Because I don't know if you know this, but in Saint-Igny in Switzerland, we have three museum for watches, museum for boxes, museum for goodies and whatever. So it's very rich when you are on these places and took those different objects and you have also a different component that you can have dials, you can have hands just for before the beginning of the brand.
Wow. And it sounds like you were probably an enthusiast of watches before you started getting into designing. Have you always been a collector, or do you have a collection yourself?
I have a collection. But not a vintage collection, but some pieces that I like. The brands that I like, Vacheron, Constantin, Breitling, or whatever. So some others. But when you work at the Swatch Group, you don't have to wear anything else than Swatch Group models.
So what you're saying is when you walk in with a Vacheron on, the lasers get you.
So all my collection is sold now. Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a joke, but yes, but I'm so I have a great link with the brand, with Longines, and it's very fantastic to have models that I draw, but also heritage pieces like the BigEye, like the Skin Diver, the original one, the Legend Diver also. So collection, Longines collections, vintage collection.
Yeah. So you started, as you said, in the graphic design and the packaging, and not packaging, but the promotional material and photography. And then you transitioned to product design and then creation management. Can you tell us about that transition between graphic design and promotional material and actually working on the watches?
Yeah, because I worked the product and the product design when I was with Alain Silberstein, and I have sorry,
a background.
I am an architect. Sorry,
architectural background.
Exactly. So when the designer of Longines leave the manufacturer, Walter von Kannel, the CEO of the brand, asked me if I want to take the space, and I say okay. Yeah, it was very it was an opportunity that I can't
yeah,
exactly. I can refuse, exactly. So he told me, okay, Alexandre, you can do all that you want, but the work will be hard. So are you okay with it? And I say okay. Yes. And I work on different collection. I work with I also work with Balmain. I don't know if I say it's to you, Mark, because at the end of my mission at Longines, the CEO Walter von Kannel and also the president of the Swatch Group asked me to draw two models for Balmain, which is also a brand of the Swatch Group, as you know, and I draw the Eri models.
Oh wow, very cool.
Fashion, not that kind of watches that we are fond of, but it's also the direction of the Swatch Group for my job.
I had the opportunity to go to Saint-Imier last year, and I actually did tour the facility as well as the heritage watch shop. And one of the things that struck me, because Longines has been in the same place for so many years, is the vast collection of parts that they have, hands, gear work, cases, things that date back well over 100 years. So I can understand how you can be so easily inspired to work on heritage products. But you've had the opportunity to do both contemporary work as well as their heritage releases. How do you find a balance between contemporary expectations from a watch and historical accuracy in a watch?
Okay. I worked with the sales department, and they told me every month what's the peoples on the markets are fond of, or the different taste and the different taste, yes, and the trends. And I go to the museum and pick up some models who are in lines with the trends. I speak especially for the Longines Mini. I don't know if you know this model. The little pieces, the little S pieces of the production at Longines the demand came for Singapore, and I went to the museum and I'm searching for the simplest watch that we can have, and I create this collection. My way of working also with Kate Winslet, with the watch that I drew for her. When Kate Winslet came at Saint-Imier, we went to the museum, and we opened all the furniture, and she said, "Oh, okay, I like this dial. Oh, okay, I like these indexes. Oh, I like this hand." So I put everything, and I made a mix up. Of course, with the specification of that time, but yes, it was so huge to have all those materials at Longines at Saint-Imier.
What a fantastic experience! Now, it was your work on the Avigation BigEye that won you the GPHG. When you were working on this watch, did you understand just how much it was going to resonate with enthusiasts?
This experience was amazing. I'm always on the blogs and everything on the internet, and at this time I knew this piece, an heritage one. And on the internet, I say, wow, I never saw this Longines, never. So I have to ask Mr. Foncanel to know if we can buy it and re-edit it. And he said, no, Alexander, no, I don't want this. So I bought it for me. And I'm saying, I'm saying, okay. You don't want it. Okay. So I have to do something with this, because I don't know why, because I have a special taste with this. And I redraw this model. And 1 month later, we were at the Walter Foncanel office, and I say, okay, but here is the drawing. And what do you say now? Did you want it? You don't want it? And he said, okay, ready for 5 years. Okay. And we, and we create it and we produce it. And it was the success that we are here, because it's I don't know if it's 1 or 2 ancient heritage model that you are also in the catalog now. and we work on the Italian series with titanium cases, blue dial, cognac leather straps, and now it's in the catalog too. If you have two models.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Beautiful watch, absolutely.
Thank you.
So I was going to ask, you sort of kind of answered my question that I was going to ask you, like with a watch release like the Avigation BigEye, for example, was that all you that went and said, hey, I want to make this and present it to the higher up people, or would they often or sometimes maybe bring you a watch and say, make this happen? Is that sort of how it works? Or
usually the idea comes from Walter von Canel on the direction of the watch group, who says, okay, for this year we want sports collection in Longines, we want a classic collection in Longines, so show me different projects and I would choose or it's the beginning can be also a special movement, a special caliber. I'm thinking about the VHP, compressive HP, and yes. But for the spirit, especially the demand came from the direction of the SWI group, who wants a sporty collection in the Longines. And so I didn't want to do a sports collection like the Conquest or Otavia Light or something like this, but I really want something different, where you can have the DNA of the aviation environment. So I work and then pick up different details of the ancient models, and I work on this model. Now I think this model is a little bit iconic about the design and also the functions, because you have the Zulu time and you have also the flyback now. Okay, so. Different. So, but Walter von Canel was a beautiful person, because it's like a father for us. And yes, really.
Yeah.
And yeah. And when he saw that you want something and you believe in something, he said, "Okay, go on, and we will see." And it was very, very interesting to work with him.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you don't expect that from a big Swatch Group brand to be that family oriented and let you fly on your own to design things. That's very cool. Now, Brent has mentioned several times on the podcast that customers, when they visit a Longines dealer, don't come in asking for Longines. They come in asking for Spirit watches, the Spirit Zulu or Spirit chronograph. Did you know when you were designing this line that it would be such a hit that it would issue new prosperity for the brand? It seems to be everywhere now. It's quite impressive. Did you have an idea when you were designing it that oh, this is special, this is going to be?
Oh yeah, I remember the beginning of the design. I guess it was at the beginning of the crisis of the COVID crisis. And I work at home, so I was on my desk at home, and I say, well, okay, I'm gonna do some drawing, and we communicate with the product manager at Longines, and because product manager are in Switzerland, but I live in France at that time. And I work at Longines in Switzerland, and I'm saying that this model will be a great piece, but I don't really know that it will be a hit like this. But we try to have some details that are different than the other brands. If you see at the indexes, it was the first time, it was the first time that indexes are full of SLN, and we have that relief on the dial. I saw yesterday the new model of the Zenith flying model, the green one, with that the type of indexes, and yes, and the special idea of the brands and also the swatch group was for this collection to have a high level of the taste and the perception of the model. So we put the five stars. You know why we have the 5 star on the dial?
Yeah, it's for precision. It was something with the Admiral watches way back.
Exactly.
They had won a specific chronometry testing, and it was an award level kind of thing.
Yeah, at that time in the 80s, that those 5 star were put it on the dials only for the high end movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what I remember as well.
Exactly. With the silicium balance, with the COSC and everything, the direction of the swatch group and Longines said, okay, we want to put those 5 stars on the dial.
Yeah, a lot of people on Instagram, everywhere else, forums, a lot of people don't like the stars, and they'll say, "Oh, why do you have to have the stars there?" And every time I see one of those posts, I comment, I say, "Look at the history of Longines. Go find out why those stars are on there, and then you'll appreciate the stars on the dials on the Spirit line." It's important. The history matters.
Exactly.
I think too that people don't understand. This is not just a single applique. Each one of those stars is applied individually, and you can't tell. They're so perfectly done. So it's also just it shows a level of mastery in and of itself. It's really, really nice.
There were indexes because on the other sides of the stars we have a square. I don't know what to say in English.
The foot of the
foot, exactly. Le pied, yeah. The foot of the star is square, and we have to put in a square hole. So you can index the stars correctly. You know, it's the same. It's the same for the Arabic indexes, also.
I've had about 4 coffees today, so I don't think I would have a very steady hand to do that. That's for sure. So at the British Watchmakers Day event, I spoke with a couple of brands regarding design and how far ahead they are on design versus the actual watch coming out. One brand said in particular, their releases are designed 3 to 4 years ahead of time. So there's sort of that delay from design until they're released. I wonder if that is typical of a brand to have designs ready that far in advance, especially bigger brands like maybe Longines.
The first year when I went to the product department, I draw and I realized 6 models in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Donc 6 months. It's very, very, very short. Yeah. Usually you said 1 year. Yeah, minimum 1 year. Yeah. But at that time, yes, Miss Hayek wanted to show some models who are in line with the equestrian world, and yes, so it was very, very huge, and but so enthusiastic, but very huge, yeah. But usually you said 1 year for development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I think I know the answer to this question. As it's be like choosing your children. Which one's your favorite? So which of your Longines designs is your favorite so far that you've done?
My Longines. I like, if we speak about the collection, my collection is, of course, the Spirit one. The record one was also because I think it's so simple and with the Calatrava and I like this too. the heritage models, especially the Marine Nationale, or the half watches, because we have the storytelling with this watch. A British person had a watch and show Longines this watch and said, "Oh, okay, it's my grandfather watch, and I have the watch, I have his clothes, I have his letters, I have everything. So what can we do with this?" And said, "Okay, we have to make a reedition, sorry, and the storytelling about this, and it would be also a success."
That's very cool. Now, when we're talking about historical watches at Longines, again, large catalog, big museum, and all that stuff, is there a specific watch that they had made before in their heritage collections that you would have loved to have had the opportunity to remake, but haven't gotten a chance?
I wanted to work on the Lindbergh's one.
Oh yes,
yeah, because I work on the hour angle. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, on the anniversary pieces, the titanium one. That's why that was my creation too. But it was just case, just different colors, just yeah. But work deeply in this model will be so great for me. Yeah. About the history of the piece.
When I wrote that question out, I was silently thinking, I hope he talks about the hour angle. When I was a young man, there was a small store at the train station in Montreal that sold Longines. It was this tiny little shop underneath the staircase. I mean, it was just barely a counter, but they had a Longines hour angle in the display. And I remember walking by it and saying, "That's a really cool looking watch. I can't read it. It's very complicated. Looks busy." But there's got to be a story there. And I was really hoping you'd bring it up. I'm so happy. Thank you.
So after working with established brands like Longines for so many years, what would inspire you to start Carlingue? And what are your core philosophies for the brand?
Yes, when I work for Longines, and especially on the heritage models, I say, whoa, that's my way, you know. That's my way, that's my style. This is like, this is here that I want to be, that I don't want to go. And when Longines and I won the GPHG for the revival model on the BigEye, I said, I really want to make something with it, and so I work on the project, and I'm saying, okay, I like military models. I like the 30s to the 60s models. So I have to do something with this, and that's why I leave the Shoutout, and I really want to have a brand to show something more, because when you work also with the general brand like Longines or whatever, you have also to be
color between the lines, right? You have to work within their space.
Exactly. En français, on dit rester dans les codes. Stay with the codes, you know. So voilà. So I really want to have my soul in the model. So the need for me is to create this brand and to show a name who can take those three domain. You have the military, you have the aviation, and you have also the dialogue. Okay. And I worked in the same way that I worked when I wear the Longines group.
So obviously, you just touched on this a little bit in your last answer, but there are certain constraints that you have to work underneath when you're working with a brand like Longines. But I also would imagine that there's a little bit of safety in that. You aren't the sole person in charge. The buck doesn't necessarily stop with you. what is the difference? What are the main differences in being in control yourself?
The difference, there are so many differences. Yeah, the difference is it's that I am, and the difference is that I work on models that I choose and that I think on the DNA that I want. I associated immediately the brand to the old school tattoo environments, because I knew at that time that in the beginning of the 30s, the peoples are tattoo themselves and like the watches and navigation, and you have also all that kind of people. So this DNA, I couldn't put this DNA in the Longines models, because it's so different that the line that the brand wants.
You can kind of cross the line with your own designs
and follow wherever you're thinking, right? You follow your design ethos and you follow it to the end. You don't bump up against anything. So yeah, creative control.
So when you're designing a watch for a bigger brand versus designing for your own, which is scarier? Having a boss that's going to be like, no, this isn't it, or having yourself to be the judge of the work?
It's very difficult to when you work on your own, because I know all the markets of the markets. Especially the markets that are found of Longines on the heritage model of Longines. So I know that my collections work in Canada, in the USA, or in Italy, and UK. So I work as I work at Longines. So I'm thinking, I'm saying, okay, this model, but my best what I really want is to have models that are focused on the ancient models, the heritage models, about the thickness, about the identity, about the materials that are used, the canvas, the cordura, all those things, and it's quite different, because when you create something, you imagine that it will be okay, but maybe a piece don't resonate. So it will be the case when I was at Longines, because some collections don't choose their auditoire, as we say in France.
Yeah. So how did your experience at Longines help you with creating your own brand? Have you been able to use the contacts you've made over those years, or has it hampered your efforts since you're well known in the industry?
No, the contacts that I had really helped me, because for Carlingue especially, the most supplier that I worked with in Longines are the supplier that I work now. So the cases or the hands or everything like this, and I have quite the same suppliers.
Yeah, they must, obviously, since you've had success with Longines, they must believe in your vision, as opposed to being, if I called the suppliers in Switzerland and said, I want to make this pilot watch and I want to use these hands, they're like, who are you? Yes. How do we know you're going to be successful? Whereas they know, you're a known entity. So that's got to be pretty helpful, I would think.
At the beginning of the Carlingue story, I wouldn't say to my supplier that I was behind the brand, So, so I said to my supplier in Switzerland, don't say to the supplier, the other supplier, that I am behind this. And I was so focused on the models, on the details, on everything like this. When you say, okay, it's okay for you. No, it's not okay because this is not quite angle or something like this. And after 1 or 2 weeks, they said, no, who is behind this brand? Because nobody is so focused on the details. And my supplier in Switzerland said, okay, it's Alexandre Voirin, the designer of Longines. He said, okay, I know now I know.
Can you tell us about your collections? There's 3, like you mentioned before. There's an aviation one, there's military, and a diver. Can you expand on those collections?
Yeah, of course. As you can see, you know Carlingue in France. What the meaning of Carlingue, of the name Carlingue?
No, I was going to ask you that next.
We don't have words to translate Carlingue in English. So you can have cabin, but cabin it's only for the plane. If I have to be very light, I would say that Carlingue is the skeleton of a plane, is the skeleton of a boat, a skeleton of a car, of whatever. No. So I wanted with this have a collection came from the aviation, a collection from the diving or the sub-diving, and a collection from the infantry, military.
Okay, so framework, basically.
Yeah. So I work a lot. So for all the models, I worked with different brands, different models, and I say, okay, this detail it's okay for me, so I have to put it on the model. This detail, okay, so you have I don't know how to say in English, but the mirror on the diver. Dial,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, the cross hatch. Yeah.
So it's a technical element to be indexes when you are in the diving. So this me. So I tell you this because so many people say to me that the model is cool, but what's this the square on the dial? So I say it's not only a design. It's really technical things that we have at that time when we are diving. I choose also I choose also caliber on the Miyota catalog, the premium catalog, who have the thin movement that you can have. So because when you speak about skin diver, so many brands or so many designer works on the models, and the models are so thick. And what I really wanted is to have the smaller models that I can have. And when you have the diver, Carlingue diver, in your hand, what is very impressive, it's that you have that thick finesse on the profile, you know?
Yeah. What the listeners are not seeing is that he's holding up one of the divers, and it looks like it's about 10 millimeters thick.
Exactly. 10.9. Yeah.
10.9. See, I can see that from the podcast camera. Very cool. Where do you see Carlingue in 5 to 10 years? Where do you see that brand? Will you be, what do you think in 5 to 10 years from now?
In 5, 10 years, I really wanted to work on a different way, especially on the automobile. Yeah, mm-hmm. I really want to work in the vintage cars, vintage American cars, you know, as a AC Cobra or something like this, because it's it can be okay with the DNA of the brand. So
okay.
I'm drawing now the future models, and yes, and
so automotive, classic cars, American muscle car.
Yes, but also
connection.
But also for the diving, and the name of the model is Carl Dive 1. Carl as Carlingue, diver.
Yeah.
1. So you are also in the future Carl Dive 2 and whatever. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Mm-hmm. Great. And right now, Carlingue is mostly a direct-to-consumer brand, right? Selling on the internet. Are there any plans for you to eventually go to retail stores and have a presence or footprint in brick-and-mortar stores?
Yes, I am. I am in stores. Actually, I have 4. Point of sale in France. We have the watch gallery in Paris.
Okay.
We have the Bleu Blanc Montre in Aix-en-Provence, in the south of France.
I've been there.
We have also. You connais? Did you know?
I've been to.
Okay.
I spent a good month in France.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I have also a point in Besançon, Vietnam. You know Vietnam? You know Philippe Lebrun?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. So we have also a point of sales in Besançon. So far. But the models and the business models for the brand is really the e-commerce.
Okay. I didn't have this in the points that we're normally talking about, but we have a show in Canada called the Timepiece Show, where they exhibit in Toronto and in Vancouver, and there's 17 different countries represented, over 60 brands at these shows. It would be really incredible if Carlingue could come at some point, either this fall in September or maybe early spring next year for Vancouver. I think that the Canadian audience, the Canadian and North American, because people come from the US as well, would love to see this brand. I think that you need more publicity, and we'd love to see you there.
Oh, it would be an honor for me to James. Really.
Okay, we'll come up with Jason.
What is really strange, it's that I'm French, the brand is French, and the customer are not really in France, but really in the USA and Canada. The last watch that I sell, it was at Atlanta.
No, there we go.
Atlanta, Italy, it's Boston.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you can see from your website. You mentioned the tattoos earlier. That sort of 1930s and 1940s style that is reminiscence. I think that we call that here in Canada anyway, Americana, the style. Mm-hmm. And so you can see why it would resonate with American consumers as well. That sort of that tattooed look. I think you used the word badass on your website a few times. In fact, and so it has that sort of appealing to a counterculture kind of movement. So I can understand that entirely.
Yes, because I think you can be different with what you wear or what you have, and it will be an extension of your soul. So Carlingue, it is on that way, and the old school tattoo goes on the DNA about the history and everything. So now in Besançon, we have the tattoo convention, and I'm working with 4 brand artists, worldwide artists, who have created 4 drawing, and I'm going to make special models with their drawings, special brands, special straps, and special boxes also.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Well, Alexandre, I feel like we have hounded you enough here this morning. We're very conscious of your time, and we're really happy that you were so generous with it this morning. All three of us were actually fans of your work before we even knew that it was your work. And we wish you the greatest success with Carlingue and all of your endeavors moving forward. I think that we're already looking forward to this idea of a motor car, or motor sports inspired watch. So thank you so much for having joined us here this morning.
Thank you very much for that time. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Merci, Alexandre.
Merci. See you. Bye.
Time to Calibrate is available anywhere you find good podcasts. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please do hit like and subscribe. We'd also love to hear you in the comments section. Until next time, thanks for listening.